Hello, Pioneers. Today is Wednesday, October 29th. My name is Maddie Patton.
And my name is Haley Bright. Welcome back to the press.
Starting November 1st, millions of Americans could lose access to food assistance as the government shutdown is seeking to halt funding for the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, otherwise known as SNAP. The suspension would cut off roughly $8 billion in monthly benefits that benefit approximately 42 million people nationwide. The restriction could force families to make a tough decision between paying the bills and buying groceries.
Several states are pledging emergency funds or suing the Trump administration, arguing the move is unlawful and endangers vulnerable individuals. Food banks across the country have begun warning that they do not have the resources to fill the massive gap if federal aid stops. Experts say the halt would have ripple effects across local economics while leaving children, seniors, and people with disabilities at risk of going hungry. Now, with Halloween quickly approaching, let's throw it over to Allie, who has more information on the origin of the holiday. Allie?
Thanks, Haley. The origins of Halloween trace back to the ancient Celtic festival of which marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, a time often associated with death. The Celts believed that on the night of October 31st, the boundary between the living and the dead blurred, allowing spirits to return to earth. To protect themselves from these ghosts, people lit bonfires and wore disguises to scare away the spirits. When Christianity spread throughout Celtic regions, the church aimed to replace pagan traditions with Christian ones. In the 8th century, Pope Gregory III established All Saints' Day on November 1st to honor saints and martyrs. The night before became known as All Hallows' Eve, which over time evolved into Halloween. Many of today's popular Halloween costumes, such as carving pumpkins or trick-or-treating and wearing costumes, stem from a combination of the Samhain rituals, medieval European traditions, and later American influence that turned the holiday into the fun, candy-filled night we know today. That's all from me. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Allie. Been arrested in connection with the $102 million jewel heist at the Louvre Museum in Paris, France. The robbery occurred on October 19th and lasted just under 8 minutes. French police said one suspect was caught at Charles de Gaulle Airport attempting to fly to Algeria, while the other was arrested before boarding a flight to Mali. Both men are French nationals with dual citizenship and have prior infractions regarding robbery.
Investigators were able to trace one suspect to the crime through DNA evidence found on an abandoned helmet at the scene and tracked him via phone and surveillance. The pair are accused of helping steal 8 pieces of jewelry during a burglary at the museum's Apollo Gallery, including crowns once owned by the former French Emperor Napoleon and his wife. Authorities are still searching for 2 additional suspects in the missing jewels, while officials investigate the possibility of an insider at the Louvre assisting in the theft.
Hurricane Melissa hit Jamaica yesterday as a Category 5 storm. This marks as the strongest hurricane to hit the island in 174 years. Winds reached tops of 185 miles per hour as the storm left widespread destruction, landslides, mass power outages, and flooding. As of last night, the hurricane has weakened into a Category 4, with officials warning roughly 1.5 million people could be impacted. The storm is expected to hit Cuba and the Bahamas next, bringing with it high winds and flooding. At least 7 deaths have been reported as rescue efforts continue.
Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth announced that U.S. forces struck 4 boats in the Eastern Pacific in 3 separate attacks. He posted on the social media platform X that, quote, a total of 14 narco-terrorists were killed during the 3 strikes, with 1 survivor. All strikes were in international waters, with no U.S. forces harmed, end quote. The strikes were described by the Pentagon as targeting vessels tied to narco-trafficking routes. Mexican authorities say that their Navy rescued the survivor, and the White House says it will brief Congress but not seek a formal declaration of war. That's all for today, Pioneers. Keep up with current events by tuning in next Wednesday for more national news. For the press, I'm Maddie Patton.
And I'm Haley Bright. Have a great week.